The dust hasn't even settled on the Dutton ranch. And already, a new frontier is calling. Asterisk, from the same mine that gave us Yellowstone comes a story about the men who carry the badge. And the weight of the law, in a land where justice is often decided at the end of a rifle. Asterisk, the first trailer for Yellowstone Y, Marshals, just dropped. And it's not just teasing action. It's revealing brand new faces who could change the game forever. Asterisk, picture this. Wide open skies stretching over the endless plains. The wind cuts across the grasslands like a whisper of old stories about the West, about honor, and about survival. For years, the Yellowstone universe has pulled us deep into that world, where family loyalty and ruthless ambition battle for control of the land. We've watched the Dutton family protect their ranch with everything they have, and we've followed spin-offs that show how this legacy was built. But now, Taylor Sheridan is opening a new chapter. Asterisk, this time, the focus shifts from the ranch to the men who wear the star, the Marshals. These are not your polished, by-the-book lawmen from city streets. These are tough, weather-worn enforcers who live by a code written in grit, dust, and blood. In Yellowstone Y, Marshals, the badge is more than authority. It's a target. The Marshals ride into towns where everyone knows your name and your business. And sometimes, they're the only thing standing between justice and chaos. Asterisk, the trailer wastes no time showing us the tone of this new story. You see the golden light of dawn spilling over a horizon that feels endless. A lone rider appears in the distance, his horse kicking up dust in the early morning chill. There's no music yet, just the steady rhythm of hooves on dirt. Then, a voice cuts through, a low, gravelly warning about the cost of law in a place where laws are only as strong as the men willing to enforce them. Asterisk, as the scenes flash by, you get a taste of everything. Tense standoffs in front of saloons, backroom deals whispered in shadow, and glimpses of rugged landscapes so beautiful they almost feel dangerous. It's classic Sheridan, that perfect mix of beauty and brutality, where every shot tells you that something could go wrong at any moment. Asterisk, and here's where the excitement kicks in. We already know Yellowstone has a reputation for unforgettable characters. Every spin-off has given us someone new to root for or against. But Yellowstone Y, Marshals, feels different. It's not just another branch of the family tree, it's an expansion of the entire universe. Instead of the Duttons' personal wars, we're stepping into the boots of the people tasked with keeping the peace. Even when peace isn't what the land wants. Asterisk, fans have been buzzing since the first announcement months ago, wondering if this spin-off would lean more toward a classic western, a gritty crime drama, or a mix of both. The trailer seems to give us the answer. It's all of that and more. There's a sharper edge here, a feeling that the stakes aren't just about who owns the land, but about who survives long enough to see justice served. And that's before we even talk about the new cast, which is where things get very interesting. Asterisk, before the names flash across the screen, the trailer shows us their characters in action, riding hard through the open country, staring down armed gangs, or simply sitting at a table with a cup of coffee, their eyes telling you they've seen more than they'll ever say. These quick glimpses are enough to spark 1,000 fan theories about who they are, what their history might be, and how they'll fit into the world we already know. Asterisk, and if history has taught us anything about Taylor Sheridan's casting choices, it's that these roles are never just filled, they're lived in. Every wrinkle, every scar, every worn-down hat is part of the story. These Marshals don't just arrive on the screen. They ride in like they've been there forever, carrying decades of history in their saddlebags. Asterisk, this is the power of the Yellowstone universe. It doesn't just create shows, it builds entire worlds that feel alive. And with Yellowstone Y, Marshals, that world is about to get a whole lot bigger. And a whole lot more dangerous. Asterisk, the trailer opens not with chaos, but with silence. A deep, heavy kind of silence that makes you lean in, waiting for something to break it. The screen is almost dark, shapes barely visible in the early light. Then, from far off, you hear it, the slow, steady jingle of spurs, each step echoing. In the still air, a silhouette emerges from the haze. A man on horseback, his coat swaying with the rhythm of the ride. His face is hidden beneath the brim of his hat, but there's no mistaking his presence. This is someone who's been on the trail for a long time, and he's carrying more than just his badge. The camera follows him as he rides past empty streets, the kind that tell you a storm is coming, and everyone already knows it. Then the silence breaks. A sudden cut, the clang of a jail door, the slam of a rifle being cocked, a voice shouting orders we can't fully make out. In the space of seconds, the tone changes from calm to urgent. Shots of men riding hard across open country flash by, their dust clouds chasing the sunset. You see lawmen standing shoulder to shoulder, rifles at the ready, staring down a group of riders in the distance. The trailer doesn't just show action, it builds tension. One moment, we're inside a dimly lit saloon, the air thick with cigar smoke. Two men sit at a table, neither touching their drinks, eyes locked in a quiet battle of wills. A flicker of light from the swinging doors reveals the Marshals badge pinned to one man's chest. But in this world, a badge doesn't always mean you hold the power. Cut again. Now we're in the wilderness. Snow clings to the pines, breath clouds in the cold air. A marshal kneels by a campfire, studying a map with a kind of focus that says this is more than just a job. It's personal. His hands are rough, his eyes tired, but there's steel in his expression. The pacing tightens. We see flashes of violence, fists slamming into wooden tables, glass shattering on the floor, a figure thrown into the street. Gunfire cracks through the night, and we catch a glimpse of a shootout on the outskirts of town, muzzle flashes lighting up the dark. Like fleeting lightning. And then, in classic Sheridan style, the trailer slows again. A woman stands alone on a porch, wind tugging at her coat. She looks down the road, as if she knows trouble is coming, and maybe she's the one who sent for it. Her voice cuts in over the next shots, speaking words that feel like a warning and a challenge all at once. Justice out here. Don't come cheap. The final montage comes fast. Horses pounding over muddy trails, the glare of lantern light over tense faces. A hand hovering over a holstered pistol. A flash of lightning revealing a wanted poster nailed to a weathered fence post. Each image feels like a promise and a threat. The trailer's last moments are pure impact. The Marshals stand together in the middle of a dusty main street, the wine lifting the edges of their coats. They don't speak. They don't have to. The camera pulls back, the music swells, and then, just before the screen cuts to black, one word appears, Marshals, a beat of silence. And then, the release date. Someone whose voice alone can make you stop and listen. The trailer shows him at the head of a posse, riding hard under a blood-red sunset. There's no mistaking it. He's the kind of leader who inspires loyalty and fear. Whether he's the senior marshal guiding the others or a rival enforcing his own brand of justice, one thing is certain. When he's on screen, the temperature changes. Each reveal in the trailer is like a gunshot in the distance, sharp, clear, and impossible to ignore. Fans have been flooding social media with reactions, dissecting every frame, debating which characters will clash, who might die before the season ends, and how these newcomers will connect to the Yellowstone universe we already know. Kaler. Sheridan's casting has always been one of his strongest weapons, and with Yellowstone Marshals, it's clear he's loading the chamber with heavy hitters. These aren't just actors filling roles, they're stepping into a world where every look, every pause, and every word carries the weight of survival. The trailer closes the casting montage with all 5 Marshals standing together in a single shot, framed against a darkening sky. No one speaks. The wind moves around them, the dust swirls at their boots, and the only sound is the low rumble of thunder rolling in from the horizon. It's a promise. Whatever's coming, they're ready for it. The Yellowstone universe has never been just about one ranch, one family, or one time period. Every spin-off so far, from 1883 to 1923, has been another branch of the same tree, stretching across decades, yet rooted in the same themes of loyalty, land, and power. Yellowstone Y, Marshals is no different, but this time, the roots run deeper into the law itself. Asterisk the trailer drops subtle hints that this story unfolds parallel to events we already know. A worn envelope stamped with the words Bozeman, Montana, slides across a desk. A wanted poster nailed to a barn door bears a faint signature, and if you freeze the frame, it's a name fans of the Dutton saga will recognize instantly. In one shot, a marshal rides past a distant ranch house. It's only a blur in the background, but the shape of that porch, the way the sunlight hits it, feels hauntingly familiar. Asterisk this is Sheridan's way of whispering to the audience, yes, these worlds touch. It's not about a direct crossover, at least, not yet, but the signs are there. The Marshals may enforce the law on paper, but in this land, the Dutton name carries its own kind of authority. It's only a matter of time before those two powers collide. Asterisk and fans have wasted no time building theories. Some believe one of the new Marshals is secretly tied to the Dutton bloodline, a distant cousin or an estranged brother whose history was buried for generations. Others point to the older Marshal, played by actor Five's name, and speculate he may have been a lawman who once crossed paths with a young John Dutton, an encounter that shaped both their lives. Asterisk there's also a darker theory floating around. In one blink-and-you-miss-it moment, the trailer shows a burned-out homestead. The ground is blackened, the walls charred, and among the ashes is a single silver belt buckle engraved with a Y. Viewers are already wondering, is this the same Y we've seen in Yellowstone, the mark tied to the ranch brand? If so, this could mean the Marshals are about to get tangled in the kind of violent legacy the Duttons have been fighting to control for years. Asterisk, but not all theories are about bloodlines and brands. Some are about the law itself. The Marshals, as shown in the trailer, aren't just chasing outlaws. They're walking the fine line between justice and survival. In the Yellowstone universe, we've seen the ranchers play by their own rules. Now, the Marshals may be forced to decide, uphold the letter of the law, or bend it to survive in a land where the law doesn't always keep you alive. Asterisk one of the most talked about moments online is a brief exchange in the trailer, barely a second long. A younger Marshal says, "You can't fight the Duttons." The older Marshal replies with a slow, measured tone, "Then you don't know what I'm fighting for." It's unclear if this is a direct reference to the ranch family, or just Sheridan's way of teasing the audience. But either way, it's enough to spark debates across every fan forum. Asterisk and that's the beauty of Sheridan's storytelling, nothing is accidental. A single prop, a throwaway line, or even a distant building in the background can mean everything. With Yellowstone Y, Marshals, he's not just giving us a new story, he's weaving another thread into the massive tapestry of the Yellowstone world. Asterisk the release date might still be weeks away, but the stage is set. We know the Marshals, we've seen the threats, and we've felt the shadow of the Duttons looming over it all. Now it's just a question of when and how these worlds will collide. Asterisk the trailer ends the way all great Western stories do, with a moment of stillness before the storm. The Marshals stand in a line, their silhouettes cut sharp against the fading light. There's no music now, just the sound of the wind pushing dust across the street. Then, slowly, the screen fades to black and the words appear. Premiere's official date. Asterisk that's it. No more hints, no more teases. Just a single date burned into your memory. And for fans of the Yellowstone universe, that date isn't just when a new show starts. It's when the story expands, the stakes rise, and a whole new corner of this world is revealed. Asterisk we know the series will premiere exclusively on streaming platform Name, following the same weekly release pattern that's made Yellowstone such a cultural event. That means the tension won't be dumped all at once. It'll build week after week, giving fans just enough time to argue, speculate, and dissect every moment before the next chapter drops. Sheridan's universe has always thrived on that. Slow burn, the kind of storytelling that makes you feel like you're part of something bigger, like you're standing right there in the dust, waiting for the first shot to be fired. And Yellowstone Y, Marshals looks ready to deliver that. In spades, the new cast is locked, the story is set, and the trailer has done its job. It's left us with questions that will gnaw us until the premiere. Who's going to survive? Who's going to betray? And how far will these marshals go to keep the peace in a land that seems built for war? For longtime fans, this is another piece of the puzzle, a chance to see the Yellowstone world through a completely different set of eyes. For newcomers, it's a perfect entry point. You don't need to know every detail of the Dutton family history to be pulled into this fight. All you need is to feel the weight of that badge and the danger that comes with it. So mark the date, clear your schedule, and get ready to ride into the storm alongside a group of lawmen who don't just face danger, they hunt it. Because when the dust settles on Yellowstone Y, Marshals, one thing will be certain. Not everyone will make it out alive. If you're ready for more updates, cast deep dives, and theory breakdowns, keep your eyes right here. The trail to the premiere starts now, and we're riding it all the way.